Hi there, English learners! Welcome to Speak English Naturally, where we turn real-life moments into natural English practice. I'm Rose.
And I'm Jack. I'm really happy you're here with us today.
Before we jump into today's topic, Jack, I need to confess something to you. I did something very silly this morning.
Only this morning? Usually you do something silly by Tuesday evening. What happened?
Very funny. So, last night, I decided I wanted to be a healthier person. I bought a giant water bottle. It holds 2 liters of water. It has little motivational quotes printed on the side for every hour of the day.
Oh, I know those bottles. At 8 a.m. it says, "Good morning, start drinking." And at 6 p.m. it says, "You are a champion."
Yes, exactly. So, I filled it with ice and water last night. I put it on my desk. I was ready to conquer the world and be incredibly hydrated.
And let me guess, you drank the whole bottle by noon.
No, I took exactly 1 sip at 9 a.m. The water was too cold. So I went to the kitchen and made a hot cup of coffee instead. The giant bottle is still sitting on my desk, judging me.
The bottle is judging you. That is a very strong feeling. But you know, I did something similar last week. I bought a beautiful, expensive notebook. I told myself, I will write 3 pages of my thoughts every morning.
Did you write 3 pages?
I wrote my name on page 1. Then I drew a little circle. Then my phone rang, and I never opened the notebook again.
So we both had huge plans, and we both did almost nothing.
Exactly. And that funny little situation connects perfectly to what we are talking about today. Sometimes we make our goals so big and so heavy that we just run away from them.
And this happens all the time when people learn English. We think we need a perfect plan, a perfect hour, and a perfect desk to study. But real life is messy. Real life is busy.
That is why today we are talking about a very different approach. We are talking about why just 1 minute of English still counts. Not 1 hour, not 30 minutes, just 1 minute.
Let me paint a picture for you, English learners. Imagine it is 9 p.m. You just finished a long day of work or school. You are tired. Your brain feels like it is moving in slow motion.
You walk into your room and you see your English textbook on the table. Or maybe you hear a notification from your English learning app on your phone.
And your first thought is, oh no, I need to study for 45 minutes. I need to learn 20 new words. I need to listen to a long podcast. But you are exhausted.
So what do? You say, I will do it tomorrow. I don't have time today. And then you open social media and you watch videos of cats for 2 hours.
We have all been there. And the worst part is the guilt. When you go to sleep, you feel bad. You think, I am lazy. I am falling behind in my English.
But what if you changed the rule? What if on that busy, tired Tuesday night, you told yourself, I only have to do 1 minute?
1 minute. That is so short. Your brain cannot say no. It changes everything. And if you have ever felt guilty for skipping your English practice, today's episode is exactly for you. We are going to make English feel much lighter today.
We will talk about why small steps are actually powerful, how to build a tiny routine, and how to stay connected to English even on your worst days. And we will learn some really useful phrases along the way.
Before we get into the main conversation, let's quickly talk about the level of today's episode.
Today's episode is a perfect A2-B1 English conversation. That means we are using natural, everyday English, but we are keeping our sentences clear and easy to follow.
If you are an A2 or B1 learner, you are in the right place. And please do not stress if you do not understand every single word right away.
That is so important. Just listen to us like you're sitting at a coffee shop with 2 friends. Let the meaning come to you naturally. This is not a grammar test. This is just a conversation.
And to help you out, we will have our word tour near the end of the episode. We will slow down and explain the most useful phrases we use today, like bare minimum or keep the momentum. So stay with us until the end.
We also love hearing from you. While you listen, if you hear an idea you like, tell us in the comments. Just writing one short sentence in English is a great way to practice.
All right, Jack, are you ready to talk about the magic of 1 minute?
I am ready. Let's start with the biggest problem, the trap that catches almost every English learner. I call it the all-or-nothing mindset.
Oh, the all-or-nothing mindset. I know this one very well. It means you think you have to do everything perfectly, or you should do nothing at all. There is no middle ground.
Exactly. In our minds, studying English looks like a beautiful movie scene. You have a clean desk. The sunlight is coming through the window. You have a hot cup of coffee. Your notebook is open, and you study perfectly for 1 full hour.
And birds are probably singing outside the window, too.
Yes, birds are singing, and your grammar is perfect. That is the fantasy. We think, if I cannot have that perfect hour, then my study session is useless.
And because we rarely have a perfect hour, we end up doing nothing. We say, I am too busy today. I will study for 2 hours on the weekend.
But then the weekend comes, and you are tired from the week. You want to relax. You do not want to study for 2 hours. So you skip it again.
It is a dangerous cycle. I used to do this with exercise. I told myself I needed to run for 5 kilometers every day. If it was raining or if I only had 15 minutes, I would say, well, I can't run 5 kilometers, so I will just stay on the sofa.
That is the all-or-nothing trap. But here's the truth about learning a language. English does not care about your perfect desk. English does not care if the birds are singing. English only cares that you show up.
I love that phrase. Show up. It just means you are present. You do the action even if it is small, even if it is not perfect.
Right. And when we talk about showing up on a busy day, we need to introduce a very helpful concept. It is called the bare minimum.
The bare minimum. That sounds like a secret weapon for busy people. What does it mean?
The bare minimum is the smallest possible amount of work you can do that still counts as progress. It is the lowest bar.
So if my big goal is to read a whole chapter of an English book, what is the bare minimum?
The bare minimum might be reading just 1 paragraph, or maybe even just opening the book and reading 1 sentence.
Just 1 sentence? Some people might hear that and think, Jack, that is a joke. I will never become fluent by reading 1 sentence a day.
That is a fair point. If you only read 1 sentence every day for 10 years, progress will be slow. But that is not the goal of the bare minimum. The bare minimum is not for your perfect days. It is for your worst days.
Ah, I see. It is for the days when you are sick, or you worked 14 hours, or your kids are crying and your brain is totally empty.
Exactly. On those days, reading 1 sentence is not about learning a new grammar rule. It is about keeping the habit alive. It is about keeping the momentum.
Keeping the momentum. That is like pushing a heavy car. When the car is stopped, it is really hard to push it and make it move. But once the car is rolling slowly, it is much easier to keep it moving.
That is a perfect example, Rose. If you stop studying English completely for a week, starting again feels like pushing a stopped car. It feels so heavy. You feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed is a great word for that. It means you feel like there is too much to do and you feel stressed and paralyzed. You look at your textbook and think, I forgot everything, it is too hard.
But if you did just 1 minute of English every day during that busy week, you never stopped the car. The car was rolling very slowly, but it was still rolling.
So doing 1 minute of English is actually protecting your identity as an English learner. When you do that 1 minute, you are telling your brain, I am still a person who learns English. I am still in the game.
Yes, you are keeping the identity alive. That tiny action is a tiny win.
A tiny win. I love focusing on tiny wins. It feels so much better than feeling guilty. So Jack, let's make this very practical for our listeners. What does a 1-minute English habit actually look like?
Let's break it down into easy ideas. Let's say you have zero energy. You are lying in bed. You can do a 1-minute listening task.
What can you listen to in 1 minute?
You can open a podcast, maybe this podcast, and just listen to the first 60 seconds. You don't need to take notes. You don't need a dictionary. Just let the English sounds enter your ears.
Or you can listen to one English song. A song is usually 3 minutes, but it feels effortless. You can listen to it while you brush your teeth.
Brushing your teeth is the perfect time to sneak it in. When you sneak something in, you fit it into a small space in your schedule, almost secretly.
I do this with YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. Sometimes I feel too tired to watch a long video, so I just watch one short video in English about cooking or travel. It takes 60 seconds. I learn one new word, and then I put my phone away. Tiny win.
That is brilliant! Okay, so that is listening. What about speaking or thinking in English? How do you do that in 1 minute?
Oh, I have a fun game for this. I call it the Name It game. If I only have 1 minute, I look around the room I am in, and I try to name 5 things I see in English.
That sounds fun. Let's try it right now. Look around the podcast studio.
Okay. Microphone, coffee cup, lamp, window, cable. Done. That took 5 seconds.
See? And if you do that every day, your brain gets used to pulling English words out quickly. It helps stop that moment where your brain freezes when you try to speak.
Another 1-minute speaking idea is the shower summary. When you are in the shower, just speak out loud to yourself. Say 3 sentences about your day in English.
Give us an example. What would you say?
I would say, "Today was very busy. I had a long meeting. I am happy to be home." That's it. It takes 15 seconds. But I practiced making English sentences.
And nobody is listening to you in the shower, so you do not need to feel nervous about making mistakes. You can just speak naturally.
Exactly. The point of all these ideas is that they are bite-sized. They are so small that they do not scare you.
And when things are bite-sized, they don't cause stress. But here is the secret magic of the 1-minute rule. Let me ask you, Rose, have you ever told yourself, I will only clean my room for 1 minute just to pick up one shirt?
Yes, of course.
And what usually happens after that 1 minute? Do you stop?
Usually. No. Once I pick up the shirt, I see a book on the floor, so I pick that up. Then I fix the bed. And suddenly, I have cleaned the whole room for 20 minutes.
Exactly. This is the psychology of starting. The hardest part of any task is starting. The first minute is the heaviest minute.
Oh, that is so true. Starting is always the scariest part.
When you tell your brain, we are only doing 1 minute, your brain relaxes. It says, okay, 1 minute is easy. We can do that. So you start.
And often that 1 minute turns into 5 minutes. Or 10 minutes. Because once you are doing it and your brain is focused, it does not feel so bad anymore. You realize that English is not the enemy.
Exactly. But here is the most important rule of this trick. If you only do 1 minute and then you stop, that is still a complete success. You won the day.
That is a huge mindset shift. Usually, if we only study for 1 minute, we feel terrible. We think, that was not enough. I failed. I did not finish my textbook chapter.
Yes, we are very hard on ourselves. To be hard on yourself means you judge yourself too strictly. You only look at what you missed, not what you achieved.
And when you are hard on yourself every day, learning English becomes a punishment. It feels heavy. You start to associate English with guilt, and nobody wants to do something that makes them feel guilty.
That is why celebrating the bare minimum is so important. When you do your 1 minute, you need to say, good job, I showed up today.
It reminds me of the concept of a fallback plan. Jack, you are the king of practical frameworks. Can you explain what a fallback plan is?
I would love to. A fallback plan is your safety net. It is your backup plan for bad days.
Give us an example of how an English learner can use a fallback plan.
Let's say your main goal is to listen to a 30-minute English podcast every morning on your way to work. That is your Plan A.
Plan A is beautiful. Plan A is when the sun is shining, the traffic is moving smoothly, and you have lots of energy.
Right. But what happens on a Plan B day? You wake up late. You spill coffee on your shirt. You are rushing out the door. You cannot listen to 30 minutes.
On a Plan B day, the all-or-nothing brain says, I have no time. I will just listen to music instead.
Exactly. But if you have a fallback plan, you do not quit. Your fallback plan is a pre-made decision for bad days. Your fallback plan might be, if I cannot do 30 minutes, I will listen to exactly one song in English.
I love that. You already decided what to do before the bad day happens. You do not need to think or negotiate with yourself.
Yes, and because the fallback plan is so easy, you actually do it. You listen to the song. You get your tiny win. You keep the momentum.
It is really about protecting your consistency, because I think one of the worst feelings in language learning is the feeling that you are falling behind.
Oh, falling behind. That is a heavy phrase. It means you feel like you are moving slower than you should, or you are losing the progress you made before.
It happens to all of us. You see someone on social media who speaks perfect English, or you join an English class and someone younger than you is speaking so fast, and you think, I am falling behind. I will never reach my goal.
And when you feel like you are falling behind, the natural reaction is to panic. You try to force yourself to study for 3 hours.
But usually that just makes you burn out. You get tired and then you stop studying for a whole month. It is a terrible cycle.
This is exactly why the 1-minute rule is your best friend. When you do 1 minute every day, you cannot fall behind. You are still on the path. You might be walking slowly, but you are moving forward.
It is like saving money in a jar. If you put $1 in the jar every day, you are not rich yet. But the jar is getting fuller. If you put nothing in the jar, it stays empty.
And more importantly, you are building the identity of a saver. With English, you are building the identity of a learner.
Identity is such a powerful word. Can we talk about that for a minute? Because I think many people view learning English as a chore, like doing the laundry or washing dishes.
Yes, they view it as an external task, something they have to do, not something they are.
But when you do just 1 minute a day, when you sneak in a podcast snippet while brushing your teeth, or name 5 objects in your room, you change how you see yourself.
You start to think, I am a person who practices English every single day. Even on the worst days, you are still that person.
And once you believe that about yourself, everything gets easier. Your brain stops fighting you. It becomes a natural part of your life, like drinking your morning coffee.
Or, in your case, drinking 1 sip of ice water from a giant motivational bottle.
Hey, I showed up. I drank my 1 sip. That was my bare minimum for hydration.
I will accept that. You kept the momentum of drinking water.
See, you can apply the rule to anything. But honestly, for our listeners today, I really hope this conversation takes a weight off their shoulders.
I hope so too. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, but perfect does not exist. Real life is messy. Real life has bad days, busy days, and tired days.
So, the next time you are lying in bed, feeling exhausted, and your textbook is staring at you from the desk, do not ignore it, but do not force yourself to do an hour.
Just look at the book, open it to any page, read 1 sentence, and say, done. Close the book and go to sleep with a smile on your face.
You won the day. 1 minute of English still counts.
It absolutely does.
All right, Jack. I think we have given our listeners a lot of practical tools to survive their busiest days. But before we wrap up the episode, let's slow things down and take a look at our word tour.
Yes, this is the time where we review the most useful phrases from today's conversation. These are words you can use in real life to talk about your habits, your goals, and your English journey. Listen, repeat, and try to use one of them today.
Our first phrase is the all or nothing mindset.
All or nothing is a mindset where you think you must do everything perfectly or you should not do it at all.
It means there is no middle ground. You want a perfect hour of study or 0 minutes.
For example, when he starts a new diet, he has an all or nothing attitude.
Another example. Don't fall into the all or nothing trap with your English practice.
Use this phrase to describe a situation where someone cannot accept a small effort or a partial success.
Repeat after us. All or nothing.
All or nothing.
Our second phrase is to show up.
To show up literally means to arrive at a place. But in self-improvement, it means to be present and do the work, even when it is hard.
It means you keep your promise to yourself. You take action.
For example, even when I am tired, I try to show up for my daily English practice.
Another example. Success is mostly about showing up every day.
Use this phrase to encourage someone or yourself to just start the task, no matter how small the effort is.
Repeat after us. Show up.
Show up.
Next, we have a very important concept for today. The bare minimum.
The bare minimum is the smallest possible amount of work you can do that still counts or is still acceptable.
It is the lowest bar. It is not your best effort, but it is enough to keep going.
For example, on my busiest days, I just do the bare minimum of reading 1 page.
Another example. He only did the bare minimum to pass the exam.
Use this phrase when you want to talk about doing just enough to survive a busy day or maintain a habit without extra stress.
Repeat after us. Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Moving on to number 4, we have keep the momentum.
Momentum is the force that keeps an object moving. To keep the momentum means to keep your progress going so you do not stop completely.
It is like pushing a car. Once it is rolling, you want to keep the momentum going so it stays easy to push.
For example, I practiced every day this week and I want to keep the momentum going this weekend.
Another example. Even a 5-minute review helps you keep the momentum in your learning.
Use this phrase when you are doing well and you want to maintain your steady progress.
Repeat after us. Keep the momentum.
Keep the momentum.
Our 5th phrase is a fun one. To sneak it in.
To sneak something in means to fit an activity into a very small, busy space in your schedule, almost secretly.
You do it quickly when you have a tiny break, like while waiting for a bus or boiling water.
For example, I have a busy day, but I can sneak in a short podcast during my lunch break.
Another example. She always tries to sneak in some reading before the kids wake up.
Use this phrase when you find clever, small ways to do something in a crowded schedule.
Repeat after us. Sneak it in.
Sneak it in.
Number 6 is bite-sized.
Bite-sized literally means small enough to eat in 1 bite. But we use it for tasks or information that are very small and easy to manage.
It means the task does not feel overwhelming. It is small and simple.
For example, I prefer bite-sized English lessons instead of long lectures.
Another example. Break your big goal into bite-sized steps.
Use this word to describe anything that is divided into small, comfortable pieces.
Repeat after us. Bite-sized.
Bite-sized.
Our 7th phrase is an emotional one. To fall behind.
To fall behind means to move slower than others or slower than you planned. It feels like you are losing progress.
It is the feeling of being late or not being as good as you want to be yet.
For example, I missed 3 classes and now I feel like I am falling behind.
Another example. Don't worry about falling behind. Just learn at your own pace.
Use this phrase to talk about the fear of losing your progress or being slower than a schedule.
Repeat after us. Fall behind.
Fall behind.
And our last phrase for today is fallback plan.
A fallback plan is your backup plan. It is what you do when your first plan fails or when things get too difficult.
It is your safety net for a bad day.
For example, my main goal is to run for an hour, but my fallback plan is a 10-minute walk.
Another example, always have a fallback plan for your English study on busy days.
Use this phrase when you want to create a simple alternative to keep your habit alive when life gets crazy.
Repeat after us. Fallback plan.
Fallback plan.
And that brings us to the end of our word tour and the end of today's episode.
So, to quickly recap today's message, you do not need a perfect hour to improve your English. The all-or-nothing mindset is a trap.
Yes, when you are tired, busy, or stressed, drop the perfect plan. Just aim for the bare minimum. Listen to one song, read one sentence, or name 5 objects in your room.
1 minute keeps the car rolling. 1 minute protects your identity as an English learner.
Your practical takeaway for today is very simple. I challenge you to try a 1-minute English habit today. Just 1 minute.
And we would love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite way to practice English when you only have a few minutes?
You can also choose one phrase from our word tour today, like tiny win or bare minimum, and write your own sentence in the comments below. We read them all.
If you enjoyed this conversation and found it helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Remember, it is not about being perfect. It is just about showing up.
You've been listening to Speak English Naturally.
Real English, real conversations, positive energy.
See you in the next episode. Keep going, even if it is just for 1 minute.